Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. We are back at the Tata Steel India with a fantastic game played in round 2 of the rapid session. Magnus Carlsen, using the Sicilian Defence, was able to draw his first game against Wesley So, but now with the white pieces he must face Nepo Sicilian. Let's watch the game together. Carlsen with the white pieces opens with d4, Nepomniachtchi answers with the Sicilian Defence c5. Here comes knight to f3, d6 and bishop to b5 we check. This is the Moscow variation. Knight to d7, d4, c captures on d4 and queen captures on d4 is better than knight capture and is the main line. Here comes a6 targeting the bishop. Generally white changed the bishop on d7 but Magnus Carlsen retreats the bishop to e2. I can't find any game played by Carlsen with this variation, but Nakamura in 2018 won a long and important game against Vascelagrave. Here comes knight to f6, short castle for white and e5 targeting the queen. Queen back to e3, knight to c5, now two pieces are attacking the pawn, and here comes knight in f goes to d2 that is protecting e4. This is a non-move, but knight to c3 is more common, but we will understand Carlsen's plan in few moves. This position for black much better to play bishop to e7 because it's always better to be ready to play short castle. Instead here comes b5, that is not a mistake, but Carlsen now can play c4. And that's why before Carlsen didn't play knight to c3. I have only one game in database between two grandmasters won by the white player. This position b capture on c4, and this is not a great idea. The move to play is rook to b8. Also bishop to d7 is possible, protecting the pawn, but Nepomniachtchi wants to develop this bishop in fianchetto. This pawn capture is not a great idea because Carlsen will be able to improve many of his pieces. At first here comes knight to c3, bishop to b7, and only now bishop captures on c4. Here comes bishop to e7 because Nepomniachtchi really needs to castle. And after bishop to e7, here comes the novelty played by Carlsen. Before b3 was played and it's a good move, but Carlsen's idea is more aggressive. Here comes b4, knight back to e6, knight to b3 and rook to c8 attacking the unprotected bishop. Knight to a5 is protecting the bishop, also attacking b7. So here comes queen to d7, but after queen to d3, white is already better. Short castle for black, and now another good move, bishop to e3, that improves the last piece and completes the development. Let's go back one move. In this position, knight captures on b7 with the skewer idea doesn't work. After queen captures on b7, bishop captures on a6 is a terrible mistake, because after rook captures on c3, white will lose material and also the game. So going back to our game, after black plays short castle, bishop to e3 is really the best move. Here comes bishop to d8, another good move because Nepomniachtchi tries to relocate the bishop to a better diagonal. Here comes knight captures on b7 and queen recaptures on b7. Knight to d5, knight to c7, threatening the knight, but now with knight captures on f6 we check. The bishop is forced to recapture because of course black doesn't want to ruin the castle, and again the dark square bishop is on the wrong diagonal. Now rook in a goes to b1 is another great idea. This is strategically the best move. Let's go back one move. White can capture on d6, still maintaining some advantage, but even if this move is playable and seems to win a pawn, instead this move gives black new life. Here comes rook in f goes to d8, queen to b6, trying to exchange the queens, but the black queen will captures on e4, black regains the pawn, and even if white is still better, black can fight. Let's go back to our game. We said after the bishop recaptures and is now again on this bad diagonal, here comes rook in a goes to b1, protecting the pawn. Rook to d8, rook in f goes to d1, and now h6. This h6 not only gives h7 to the king, but can also be played to try to change the dark square bishop with bishop to g5. So here comes f3. That is a good move that makes two good things in one. Now e4 is very solid, and in case of bishop to g5, Carlsen can retreat the bishop to f2. After f3, here comes queen to c6. Queen to b3, now attacking with the help of the bishop f7, and so queen back to e8, protecting the pawn. Here comes a4, with Carlsen that is advancing the majority on the queen side. Rook to b8 is not enough because b5 can still come. A captures, b6 with tempo is in the cards, so Nepomniachtchi removes the knight from c7, and here comes b6. Bishop to g5, but as we said before, here comes bishop to f2, and while this white bishop is controlling important squares here on the queen side, the dark square bishop of Nepomniachtchi is useless. Knight to d4, attacking the queen. Bishop captures, e captures. Rook captures on d4. White is a pawn up. Rook indeed goes to c8. Here comes b7 attacking the rook, and rook to c5. Bishop to d5, still watching f7, also protecting b7. Here comes queen to e7 that, unfortunately for Nepomniachtchi, doesn't solve any problem. Carlsen is ready to simplify the position with rook to c4, but if we go back one move, there is something much stronger. Instead of rook to c4, rook to a4 is crashing because nothing can stop rook to a8. Let's briefly watch this variation. Queen to f8 is the best move, rook to a8, rook to c7, also protecting f7 in case of rook captures on b8 because the queen must recapture. Instead here comes rook captures, queen captures, but here comes rook to a1. The idea of course is to play rook to a8, the queen would be lost or at least must move away and the pawn will promote. The only idea to prevent this maneuver is rook captures on b7 that loses the rook, and of course also the game in this position it's +10. So let's go back to our game. We said rook to c4, not a bad idea to simplify the position, but rook to a4 is really crashing. Here comes queen to c7 and rook captures on c5. D captures on c5 because the queen is still protecting f7. Here comes g3 and bishop back to f6. King to g2, queen to e7, and this move is another mistake because the queen was protecting b6. Now Carlsen can invade with the queen. Queen to b6, bishop to e5 controlling c7, but here comes queen to c6 and the idea is to play queen to c8. So king to h7, f4 first, bishop to d4 or the bishop will be trapped. Here comes queen to c8 and queen to d6 protecting the rook. But Carlsen gives check with queen to f5 with check. That is very good. Let's go back one move because there is another idea that is really beautiful. Bishop captures on f7 is the strongest idea, and if now c4 is played, that is the only counterplay. Here comes e5, queen to d8, queen captures, rook captures, and the pawn will promote to queen. So now of course rook captures and rook captures. Let's go back to our game. After Nepomniachtchi protects the rook with the queen, here comes queen to f5 with check, king back to h8. Now king to h3 is a clever move because the king is safe, nothing can give check. Queen to a6, but here comes e5 and Nepomniachtchi resigns. Let's make some other moves. Again, if c4 is played, that is the only possible counterplay. Because the white king is on h3 and there is no way to give check, here can come the powerful rook to b4. Of course the idea is to move the rook to c8. So queen to g6, trying to exchange the queens, but this queen exchange doesn't help black because after queen captures, f captures, rook to c4, with tempo against the bishop and with the idea of rook to c8. So, fantastic game, fantastic rapid game played by Carlsen, a game full of attacking ideas that I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I cover all the top chess tournaments. Our analysis is over, I thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Goodbye!